Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am sat in my living room today with barely any makeup on because I just felt like filming a video. And also, last year I didn't even film Vlogmas because it was literally COVID. Nothing was going on, so there was nothing fun to film. But this year I thought that I would try to film some videos. Like I said in my last video, which probably, to be honest, went up yesterday. I want to start filming videos again because I haven't filmed in so long and I honestly just need more variety in my life, so I thought this would give me something fun to do. So this year, instead of the traditional Vlogmas where you vlog what you do day to day every single day, I was thinking that I would try my best to film either a vlog or some other kind of video and post every single day or as often as I possibly can. This is going up, I think, on December 1st. So today my video idea was to talk about some books that I have read, am reading, and plan to read in the near future because I've recently got back into reading, and so I thought I would talk about the books that I have currently got going on if anyone else wants some like book inspo, and also just to give my like 2 cents, not that it's worth very much, on the books that I have read and am reading at the moment, as well as talk about some books that I am excited to read in December, which I think is great because who doesn't love a festive book? Anyway, yeah, that is the video. Welcome. Do you like my Christmas tree? We went for very colorful lights this year and I kind of love it. But yeah, I tried to make the background as cozy as possible. I got my candle, I got my Christmas tree. I've got very bright lights in front of me. I literally am using my ring light to film a video, which I genuinely haven't really done since I got it, so at least it's getting good use now. Okay, let's just get into the video. So to start off, I'm gonna talk about some of the books that I recently read that I love. I literally haven't read books for pleasure in like years. I used to be such a massive reader when I was a child, and I guess social media came in and I just completely stopped, and I completely forgot how much I love a good book. I get actually obsessed with them. But then in about the last week of October, I decided, like my therapist was telling me to do, I tried to branch out and do some more things in my spare time to give myself variety in my life so that I wouldn't be so sad all the time. And one of those things was reading, and so I decided to try to find some books that I thought were seasonally appropriate, and at the time it was like Halloween, so I wanted some spooky books. So the first book that I picked up was this one. So this was called The Near Witch by V.E. Schwab. I think that's how you say that, Schwab. And I didn't expect to like this as much as I did. I mean, obviously I picked it up at the bookstore in Waterstones because I thought it sounded interesting, so I was hoping I was gonna like it, but I actually really like this book. So I'll read the back. So this one says, The Near Witch is only an old story told to frighten children. If the wind calls at night, you must not listen. The wind is lonely and always looking for company. There are no strangers in the town of Near. There are truths that Lexi has heard all of— oh, wow, I can't read aloud. This is taking me back to school. These are the truths that Lexi has heard all her life, but when an actual stranger, a boy who seems to fade like smoke, appears outside her home on the moor at night, she knows that at least one of these sayings is no longer true. The next night, the children of Near start disappearing from their beds, and the mysterious boy falls under suspicion. As the hunt for the children intensifies, so does Lexi's need to know about the witch that just might be more than a bedtime story, and about the history of this nameless boy. Are you intrigued? Because I bloody was. Yeah, I really love this book. I was like gripped as soon as I started reading it. It had a really like spooky vibe and also quite a cozy vibe. I honestly don't know what time period this is set in, but like, I don't know, it felt kind of old-timey. Everyone lived in like cottages and like little houses in a little village. It was like cute and spooky at the same time, if you can imagine that, but I absolutely loved it. Yeah, I literally read this in like 3 days probably, and that was me getting back into reading when I thought I couldn't. So this is the book that kicked it all off, and I highly recommend because I actually really loved it. And then the second book that I read, so this one is called The Crowfolk, and it's part of a series called The Witches of Woodville. So this is the first book by Mark Stay. After reading the first book, it was still sort of fall, so this was after Halloween. It was November, so I wanted something that wasn't quite Christmassy yet, and I wanted it to still feel autumnal, and I figured, okay, fine, well, I guess witches are kind of autumnal. But yeah, and also I just really loved the cover on this one. Like, the artwork is so cool, and I'm such a sucker for a nice cover. But yeah, so this is another book about witches, but this one is about witches in England. Where is it? Kent? Yeah, in rural Kent during the time of like World War II? I think World War II? I think World War II. But yeah, so I'll read the back of this. War rages in Europe, but in a quiet village in rural Kent, there is another battle to be won. Faye Bright has always known she was different, but when she discovers her late mother's diary, she realizes why. Full of spells, incantations, runes, and recitations. Oh my god. It is a witch's notebook. And Faye has inherited her mother's abilities. Just in time too, the Crowfolk are coming and they want that book. Led by the charismatic Pumpkinhead, their strange magic threatens Faye and the villagers, armed with little more than her mum's words, the grudging help of 2 bickering witches, and some aggressive church bell ringing. Faye will find herself on the front lines of a war with demonic forces. It sounds kind of out there. Like, when I read that, I was like, oh my god, this book sounds absolutely wacko. But it was funny. I really liked this one. This one was like, whereas the other one was like cute and spooky, this one was like funny and spooky, but like not that spooky. But yeah, I found it really amusing to me. It's quite a light read, and if you like magic and witches and that kind of thing, this book is really fun. It's also like kind of historical. It's set in June of 1940, so yeah, rationing, blackouts, and witchcraft, it says here at the bottom. But yeah, so if you like those kinds of vibes, this book will be really good. I did genuinely like it, and I'm not a massive fan of things like historical fiction, I guess. I don't tend to read it, but I really enjoyed this book. The last few books that I read are a trilogy by Terry, and it is the Slated series. So we've got, oh, where are we? So we have Slated, Fractured, and Shattered. This is the second time that I've read these books, but when I started reading again, I really wanted to get my hands on them because I remember how much I absolutely loved them the first time around I read them when I was like 16, when I was in year 7, 8, I don't know. How old are you? No, not 16 then. Oh my god. Like 14, 13? I read these when I was at school in Leeds, and they are so fun. I really love them. This is more the type of book that I usually would have read when I was younger. It's like sci-fi, apocalyptic, like post-apocalyptic kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Dystopian. It's about like a dystopian future, and I love those kinds of stories. But yeah, it's about this sort of like future where young criminals, instead of being sent to prison, they have their minds and their memories wiped, and it's about a girl who's had her memories wiped and sort of all the things that unfold afterwards. And I really love it. It's literally, I think it is like my favorite trilogy of books ever that I've ever read. And also it's kind of special because I can't remember whether I read the first book when I was at school and then the author visited our school, or if I read the book because I knew that the author was visiting. I can't quite remember like the order of events. I just know that I read the books. I also got to meet the author, Terry, and she did sign one of them for me. Yeah, she signed my first one. So yeah, they're kind of fun and special to me. I don't want to say too much about those, but I mean, I kind of gave you the gist on what the story is about, but like honestly, it's so good. They are all so good, and I'm like so desperate for it to become like a TV series or like a movie series or something like that, because I would just so love to see it like visually in front of me. Like, I just think that the story is so amazing, and yeah, I cannot recommend these 3 more. Kind of moving on to books that I am reading / I'm still are like planning to read in the future. I picked this up in Waterstones not too long. I picked it up the same time I bought this one. This is a Scandinavian Christmas, and it is Festive Tales from a Nordic foreign. Oh my god, why can I not read? I'm doing a book English, Ella. I'm doing a video about books and I literally can't read. Okay. Or speak. Yes, a Scandinavian Christmas, Festive Tales for a Nordic Noel. There we go. And look how beautiful the cover is. So it's like a little hardback, and it's so pretty. But it is basically a collection of Christmas stories written by authors from Scandinavia, I guess. So people like Hans Christian Andersen and also some more modern ones. But yeah, there's how many stories are actually in this? Let me just find the contents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 stories. I think some of them are quite classic and then others are lesser known stories, but they're all by Scandinavian authors. And I think that it was just a nice idea for this Christmas. I thought I'd try reading some Christmas stories that weren't, you know, sort of American / English based, and Scandinavia is very, very Christmassy in my mind. I don't really know what else to say. I've read one story out of it so far because I read it back in the beginning of November, and then I decided to save it for when it got to Christmas. So I might try to read like maybe one story a day or something, or, you know, spread them out a little bit so I have something to read that's fun and festive every day of December. And obviously it's a beautiful book and would make a really great Christmas present as well. This is the book that I am currently actually reading, and I'm not gonna lie, I am not a massive fan of it, but I feel like I've committed and I just want to read it so I can move on to other things. But I'm reading Snowflakes on Silver Cove by Holly Martin. Can friendship turn to romance under the mistletoe? I'm not a massive fan of like romances, but I feel like, right, so I went on this massive hunt for some like Christmas books and like Christmas stories that I could read, and I feel like, oh my god, I just realized I'm sat on a wet patch on this carpet. Right. I feel like it is really hard to find Christmas stories that aren't a soppy romance, unless I'm just like looking in the wrong places, because I feel like most of the books that I picked up in this genre are all like super soppy love stories just based at Christmas time. But I mean, like, I genuinely couldn't find any other books that were like Christmassy that weren't like this. But yeah, so I'm giving this one a read. I literally have 9 books that I all bought from the works there was like a 3 for £5 deal, and so I picked up like a shit ton of books. But yeah, so this is the first one that I'm reading. I'm currently, I'd say, about a quarter of the way through, maybe like 2/5. Yeah, not very far into it, but it's okay. If you're into that sort of like romance story, it's like quaint, I guess it's cozy, it's got humor, just a bit too romantic for me, not gonna lie. But yeah, if you're into that kind of thing, then I guess read this one because it's Christmassy. Yeah, I don't know, but I just thought I'd let you know which book I'm currently reading, even though I'm not currently a massive fan of it. But who knows, maybe it will turn around the further into the book that I get. On the note of Christmas books and Christmas stories that I am excited to read about, hopefully they're not soppy romances, or if they are romances, which I think a couple of them are, they're not super like kind of romantic books. This first one I don't think is a romance. This one is called One More for Christmas by Sarah Morgan. Again, loving all of these covers. They just look so cute. And this one is, I'll read the back just because I don't know what it's about otherwise. Gail is a highly successful and motivated businesswoman, but her success has come at a price. She hasn't spoken to her daughters Ella and Samantha for years, but when Gail has an accident at work, she realizes she needs to make amends with her family, and so she invites herself to join Ella and Samantha for their Christmas in the beautiful Scottish Highlands. Literally half the books that I bought take place in the Scottish Highlands. Like, I think authors just have an obsession with Scotland when it comes to Christmas. The sisters are none too pleased that their mother has inserted herself into their Christmas plans. They have each other and they don't need their mother back in their lives, or so they think. As they embark on their first family Christmas together in years, will the 3 women learn that sometimes facing up to a few home truths is all you need to heal your heart. So I just thought that sounded like kind of like a cozy family story, kind of Christmassy story book. I don't know. But yeah, and also Scottish Highlands, so who doesn't want to read about that scenery? I think this one I'm really excited for, mainly because there's literally no mention of romance on the blurb. I'm looking forward to this one very much. And then the next 2 that I have here with me, I wasn't gonna bring my whole stack of like 9 books in because like they literally all sound like the same story mostly, but I brought these 2 in mainly because one, they're by the same author and they have really adorable covers, which really shouldn't matter, but like I will judge your books by their cover. So They are, I think, supposed to be sort of like love stories or romances, but like hopefully they're tame romances. They just sounded quite cute, and I can do cute, I can't do soppy, okay? I feel like there is a difference there. But yeah, so the first one I have here is The Winter Garden by Heidi Swain, and look how cute this is, like honestly. Just, these are the vibes that I want. These vibes. And so this one says, will love bloom this winter? Freya Fuller is living her dream working as a live-in gardener on a beautiful Suffolk estate. But when the owner dies, Freya finds herself forced out of her job and her home with nowhere to go. However, with luck on her side, she's soon moving to Nightingale Square and helping to create a beautiful winter garden that will be open to the public in time for Christmas. There is a warm welcome from all in Nightingale Square, except from local artist Finn. No matter how hard the pair try, they just can't get along, and working together to bring the winter garden to life quickly becomes a struggle for them both. Will Freya and Finn be able to put their differences aside in time for Christmas, or will the arrival of a face from Freya's past send them all spiraling? I'm getting tired of reading already, like out loud. My voice hurts. This is really stressing me out. I feel like I'm in school. But yeah, I just thought that sounded really cute, and I feel like there is a bit more of a focus on something else other than just romance, which I think is where this one kind of fails. It's literally about a romance author going on dates to teach her friend how to date, and then I think they're supposed to fall in love or something. Like, there's just too much soppy romance stuff in this one for me. This one sounds like there's other components to the story, which I'm intrigued to read. And it just sounds really cute, so very excited for that one. And then the last book I have is another by Heidi Swain, and this one is called Underneath the Christmas Tree. Again, a super cute cover, and this one again is like a romance love story wrapped up in Christmas. But this one says, can the festive spirit find a way into Liza's heart this year? Winter's Trees is the home of Christmas, but for Liza Winter, it's a millstone? I don't know what a millstone is. It's a millstone around her neck. The Christmas tree farm was her father's pride and joy, but now he's gone. She can't have anything to do with it. Until her father's business partner decides to retire, and she must go back to handle the transition to his son Ned. When Liza arrives, she discovers a much-loved business that's flourishing under Ned's stewardship, and she's happy to stay and help for the Christmas season, but then she has other plans. Will the place where she grew up make her change her mind? And can it weave its Christmas cheer around her heart? The perfect festive read full of snowflakes, warm fires, and a heartwarming seasonal romance. Aww. So this one also just sounded really kind of cute, lighthearted, and who doesn't love Christmas trees? I just want to read about Christmas tree farms, so that's why this one I'm very excited to read. Also just because the two of them together are just so freaking cute, like look at them. But yeah, apparently she has a third Christmas book called Sleigh Rides and Silver Bells at the Christmas Fair. Haven't heard of, but I just saw it on the back of this one. If I like these two, I will be picking up that one. And those are all of the books that I have to share with you today. Those are the books that I have read and love, the books I am currently reading, and the books that I am excited to start reading this December. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it wasn't too rambly. I hope it also wasn't too like quick, and like I kind of just sped through a few of them, because I mean the books that I haven't read I can't really say much about because I obviously haven't read them, so all I can do is read what the back says to you. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope maybe it's giving you some ideas of books to read or books to buy other people for presents. If you liked the video, obviously give it a thumbs up down below to let me know that you like this kind of content. I've never filmed a video about books before, so it's kind of new for me, but I'm here trying new shit, so. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe down below. As I said, I'm gonna try to film a bunch of videos this month, so let's see how that goes. Subscribe if you want to see, or go check out my other videos that are kind of old now because I literally haven't posted in like a year. That's the end of the video. All right, thanks you guys for watching, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow with a vlog or some other video. So yeah, bye.